And Ravana was a personality who was completely obsessed with seeking his own pleasure at the cost of giving others pain. And no matter what kind of pain it was, he was only concerned with his own pleasure. There was a saintly person who went to a lady's house and was asking for some bhiksha. And this lady was in a very angry mood. She was cooking in a stove in the village, so it was a wooden stove. So there was a lot of ash which came out of that stove. She took out that ash and threw it in this saintly person's chadar. So when the saintly person saw in his chadar so much of ash, he looked at the lady and said, "Thank you very much, I'll come again tomorrow." And the lady was even more upset. And she said, "I gave you useless ash. Still you will come again tomorrow. Why?" And this gentleman, this sadhu, he looked at the lady and folded his hand and said, "I am so happy, madam, that today at least you have begun the process of giving. Today you have given ash, tomorrow you will give cash." Somewhere you have begun. And so Srila Prabhupada, when approached by one of his disciples who told him, "Srila Prabhupada, sometimes I feel I am in Maya." Prabhupada said, "You are always in Maya. Sometimes you fall into Krishna." Another disciple told Srila Prabhupada, "I have heard that when the disciple falls, the spiritual master comes back again into the material world to take him back." Prabhupada said, "Yes, but don't take advantage. Strive and be very careful about how you progress on this path. And avoid the mistakes made by Ravana." So Ravana was not cursed once, twice or thrice. He was cursed 18 times. And still, he did not understand what is what. Prabhupada was giving a lecture at MIT, Boston. And when Prabhupada, after the lecture, just as he began the lecture, Prabhupada said, "Here, I am at MIT. It's a great institution. But what about knowledge of the Almighty?" And the whole idea of spirituality is to help you understand who is the Almighty. Because in the pursuit of happiness, one may think that with my intelligence, I can fulfill my plans and acquire all the pleasure I want. But in due course of time, you realize Krishna has some other plans, and ultimately many of my plans for pleasure fail, and ultimately I experience pain rather than pleasure. So therefore human life is neither meant for seeking pleasure nor avoiding pain. What is the definition of anxiety? Constant meditation on seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. When you are trying to bring in pleasure in your life and push out pain from your life, and when you are constantly meditating on these two, that is what is known as anxiety. So then one may think, is there anything beyond this? I was going to give a lecture in Mumbai, and I was passing by on the road, and I saw a beautiful big building. And in that building it was written, Sukh Shanti Apartment. And below it was written, under repair and maintenance. You will never ever come to that exact experience of Sukh and Shanti. So neither Sukh nor Shanti, happiness or peace is available in this world. What is available what is accessible, what is to be aspired for which all of us are assembled here, is we have all come here to stop our pursuit of pleasure and stop our avoidance of pain. Get out from that line and start standing in front of another line where the counter is neither saying pleasure, pain, but the counter is saying service, seva. And therefore, Mahavipattau samsare yah smaret madhusudana vipattau tasya sampatti bhavet ityaha shankara. When one experiences great distress, vipatti, and in the midst of that vipatti, one continues serving, yas maret madhusudana, and remembers that this incident has happened in my life as a result of the Lord's intervention. It is His plan to bring me closer to Him. So vipattau, that vipatti becomes His sampatti. Tada tadahamishasya bhaktanam shamma bhipsatam anugraha manyamana pratishtham dishamuttaram. Narad Muni loses his mother at the age of 5. Narad Muni is in a totally helpless state. But in that state of helplessness, he refuses to become hopeless. Bhaktanam sham, he understands the Lord is well-wisher of his devotees. Always aspires for the pleasure of his devotees, the future of his devotees. And therefore, this incident may have happened. It may be a vipatti, it may be a calamity, but this calamity will become an opportunity for coming closer to Krishna. Anugraha manyamana, and he considers that to be the blessings of the Lord. Pratishtham dishamuttaram, and he travels towards north. And that is what the whole scripture is about. That in every situation, how you see the opportunity to come closer to Krishna. Vasudeva and Devaki had 6 sons and they lost 6 sons. But in spite of losing the 6 sons, Vasudeva and Devaki, although helpless, refused to become hopeless. Tatascha shauri bhagavat prachodita sutam samadaya cha sutika grihat. Vasudeva is described as Shauri the brave. He was brave not because he defeated anyone. He was brave because he was refused to be defeated by the circumstances. That's the greatest need in this day and age, where we refuse to be defeated by circumstances. And we say that I may be helpless, but I will not become hopeless. I was giving a Janmashtami lecture at IIT many years ago, and I described about the Akashvani, which Kamsa heard that the 8th son will be the cause of his destruction, and Kamsa put Vasudeva and Devaki in jail. And after that lecture, one IIT student walked up to me and he said, when Kamsa heard that Akashvani, he could have put Vasudeva in one jail, Devaki in another jail, not a single son would have been born. It was such a simple solution, rather than going through all these complications. Kamsa ko itna bhi idea chamka nahi kiya. Could he think of such a simple thing? He said, what to do? Kamsa had not gone to IIT like you. But Vasudeva and Devaki, on the day of Janmashtami, are reminding us, unless you are willing to embrace the pain of whatever circumstances you are put in, do not aspire to have Krishna in your life. And therefore, here we find that Lord Ram is in a very painful situation himself. Because Ravana has taken away Sita. And when Lord Ram is offering the last rites to Jatayu, he's looking at Lakshman and he's saying, Rajyam bhrashte vane vaso Sita nashta hato dvijam idrishiyam mama alakshmir nirdahe tapi pavakam. O Lakshman, people in this world are frustrated thinking that they are going through miserable condition. But people in this world should look at me, Ram, and what I am going through. Rajyo Bhrashto, my kingdom has been destroyed, snatched away from me few hours before I was going to be coronated, thrown into the forest. Vane Vaso, 14 years. Sita Nashto, at least I had companion, my wife. Now she has been taken away. And then at least I had a friend, Jatayu. He has been killed. Idrishiyam mama alakshmir. See the extent of my misfortune. Mama alakshmi. Lakshmi means fortune. Alakshmi means misfortune. The extent of my misfortune is such that nirdahe tapi pavaka. I'm burning with this misfortune to such an extent that fire itself, if it touches me right now, the fire will get burned by the fire of my misfortune. That is how hot my misfortune is. So Lord Ram is expressing his heart's emotions at that point. So Ram himself is going through a very challenging situation. And then for the 4 months of the Chaturmas, he is waiting on the Malyavanta Parvat, waiting for Sugriv to come with the army which he had promised, and Sugriv forgot about it. Sugriv is enjoying pleasures. Lord Ram calls Lakshman and he says, what is this? Sugriv had made a promise. He has not fulfilled the promise. Lakshman, please go and give this message to Sugriva. Yena sankuchita pantha yena vali hatogata samaye tishta Sugriva mavali hatamanvakaha. You go and tell that Sugriv that the road through which we send Vali to the kingdom of death, that road is still open. Lakshman looks at Ram and Lakshman is inspired. Because it is usually Lakshman who gets angry. For a change, Ram is angry. And Lakshman likes that. And when Ram tells him, go and give this message to Sugriv, Lakshman says, why message? Let me go and kill him only. Ram says, no. Don't cross the boundary. I want you to only give the message. So Lakshman goes and gives the message. And Sugriv comes and apologizes. And Lord Ram accepts Sugriv's apology. He accepts the fact that Sugriv made a promise, deviated from the promise, made the mistake. Lord Ram gives him the opportunity to serve. He does not take away his service. He allows him the opportunity to transform and reform and then lead the entire battle. And so in this situation, Ram is lamenting. Seeing that lamentation, Hanumanji starts getting a doubt. And what is Hanumanji's doubt? Ram is supposed to be Sthita Pragya, equipoised, having equanimity. Why is Ram crying so much? This is not good. A steady person, a very equipoised person, should not be so emotional. Ram understands. This is what Hanuman is thinking. And Ram is thinking, how can Hanuman understand? He is after all a brahmachari. And he is having his own limitations. But Hanuman is thinking like this. Ram says, I will give an answer to him, not now, but in future. And Lord Ram takes his ring and gives it to Hanuman. Empowers Hanuman to be the one to find Sita. So therefore, when Sita, who represents the Jiva, as long as she is serving Lord Ram, she is safe. The moment she is distracted by the golden deer, when the soul is distracted from the Ram's service, at that moment, the 10-headed Ravana of the mind, comprising the 5 karmendriyas and the 5 jnanendriyas, come and kidnap the soul and put the soul within the body of Lanka, within the ocean of material existence. And at that time the soul is separated from Ram. In that state of separation, Ram is in doubt whether the soul wants to come back to me or not. When you have broken a relationship with someone, you are always in doubt how to re-establish that relationship. And when the relationship is messed up, usually you need a third party to intervene. And therefore, when the soul's relationship with Lord is broken, then the Lord is dependent on someone else to begin that conversation. So Griva means one with a beautiful throat. And from the throat comes air. And the air carries sound. The sound carries meaning. And that meaning is carried by the Guru or the spiritual teacher, represented by Hanuman, who carries the Rama Sandesh or the message of Lord Ram. And surrounded by so many devotees who are Vaishnavas, also known as Vanara. What is the meaning of Vanara? Vanara means, Nara means human. Va means one who looks like human. So when you look at monkeys, they behave like humans. One monkey picked up Prabhupada's shoe and ran away in Vrindavan. So the devotees chased the monkey with stick. Prabhupada said, this will not work. So Prabhupada came right in front of the monkey who was sitting on the branch of a tree. Prabhupada gave a banana to that monkey. And the monkey had the shoe, Prabhupada's shoe in the hand. The monkey showed the shoe to Prabhupada.